We continue on modularity or parts, and here's where I'm going to ask you to observe. Let's take you to a grocery store, and let's say you see some child acting out, and you find out the child's 2 years of age, and you have a little bit of that information that a child at 2 years of age will go rebellious and say no, 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 no. So you, the observer, I'm asking you to start a no sequence with that child. Say hello and say things like, do you like going to the store? And the kid will say no. You say, did you get what you wanted? He'll say no. And you go ahead with this sequence where you go to get a child to say, do you enjoy being in this stroller? No. Do you like me? No. And then you say, do you like yourself? And the kid will go silent because their reflex is to say no. And you say, do you love your mother? And the kid will go silent. Now imagine some horrendous tragedy occurring to this little kid, a boy or girl, that their parents are killed in a car accident, or that their mother and father divorce and they don't see their father anymore, or they have a major illness and are put in the hospital. That will cause that child to be stuck. Now I want to be very precise about the process that this child goes through, because the child will later be quite smart, and I'll explain why. First, the child hears what you are saying and has to understand it. Second, the child figures out a flaw in what you're saying and says no. Then as the child grows older, he will try and show you where you're wrong and clear up your apparent error, your flaw, your mistake in your thinking. This will be an automatic reflex in the personality. And I saw a lot of these people at the University of Chicago. Then as an older person, will come up with an alternative answer. Now that process, those 4 sequences, figure out what you're saying, figure out the flaw, figure out, tell you what the flaw is, and then give you a different option or a better option according to them. That is a process that creates intelligent people. In one regard, they're intelligent. Now, they become debaters because they can do through that very rapidly, that process. Now, I saw this in graduate school at the University of Chicago. I was privileged to faculty meetings when I was chaplain of the hospital. And it was incredible. They would argue about nonsense. They didn't just get business done. There were all kind of faculty disagreements, jealousies, ugliness occurring at these faculty meetings. I read recently an account of a guy who left teaching at a university. He said he couldn't stand the irrationality of university professors, and he'd prefer to work on a farm in Nebraska. I understand that reflex. Now I'm going to give you another challenge in terms of observation, and that is, you know that a hero, an icon of the right side of the political spectrum, I guess I should do it this way, is the icon is Ayn Rand, A-Y-N, Ayn, or Ann, I guess, Rand. Now, you can see her on all kind of YouTube videos. And what I want you to do is observe how she comes on when she sits down to be interviewed by some particular person. She comes on, she's scared, and you can see it in her face and in her tight musculature. Now, some of that probably is stage fright, but some of it, I would contend, is a leftover 2-year-old issue. And then as she continues in the conversations, and you can check this out, please do, in videos of Ayn Rand, this philosopher, that a lot of people in Congress and Senate will think she's just the greatest economic philosopher, the greatest political philosopher in history. She will go on, and you will see her suddenly relax. And that is when she has the interviewer on the defense, just like any 2-year-old will do. They will feel happy when they get you being on the defense, you the adversary. Now, my contention is that she has switched into the 2-year-old module. Now someone, and I'm probably someone very intelligent viewing this, will say, Frank, you cannot decide on her content based on her emotional behavior. Well, you can in a way, and I'm going to try and explain that. Because a 2-year-old will continually set up me versus you. There's always an us, them. And Ayn Rand uses this good, bad, capitalism, socialism, free market versus big government. Everything is cast in an either or. It's amazing when you can decipher what's going on. She's like a debater. Now, she does not, in my understanding, get complexity. That capitalism needs government, and government, in order to be very effective for the populace, needs capitalism. You cannot put everything as beautiful, ugly, bad, good, right, wrong, poor welfare cheats, or honest, hard-working Americans, or whatever else. You cannot live on an either-or and be a respectable intellectual. And yet I must admit, I saw a lot of people like this in universities. Now, if you want to know one thing about the history of philosophy and the history of religion, there was a man named Mani, M-A-N-I, who developed Manichaeism. And he always talked about children of the dark and the children of the light. He only saw the either or. Now, I would say that Ayn Rand is a Manichaean thinker. Now, you might also note one other thing when she gets into her shtick, and that is she uses disgust. You call it, Charles Darwin said that's one of the basic 6 feelings. Watch to see if she is answering somebody and she does not think they're a credible thinker because they don't fall into her either-or system. If her lip curls, if she kind of looks like she's smelling a stink, a dead animal at your feet, and so she kind of draws up like, oh my God. And this, by the way, is a characteristic of a 2-year-old argumentative debater thinker. And there are other people I could name in Senate or the Congress who do this, but if I did, you'd say I was doing some political ploy in order to try and convince you of one way or another. I don't care. So we then go to Ayn Rand's history. Are the observations we make of her 2-year-old behavior accurate? Did she have a trauma at age 2? Yes, she did. Now the age 2 will recycle again when you hit 14. Did she have a trauma at age 14? A major trauma in terms of the Bolsheviks taking over her father's business. So this will end this little fireside chat. I'm trying to encourage you to do the observation because I don't know how to communicate all the observations of these various stuck modules without enlisting your help in the observation process. And so my intent is to show how modularity occurs in people relations, and by now I hope you're getting it.